Intercepting mind cycles of high center rise in communication lulls. It generates your stream location in your timelines, frequency positions of patterns. It's correlated high interference how you see location to your sun and how you see correlation centers to your moon. Your sun is a light signature pattern communication high interference. It's the positive location that opens opposition to your track lines in the battery. You need a positive and negative. The positive of the sun and the negative of the moon. Now, inside location line interference, put that together, got infusion, congratulations, lights on. So it's understand how to keep the lights on in set locations. You can't add emotional line strains and any line rotation interference. What happens at location of the sun? And what happens in track communication of the moon? Separation. Not only the sun will separate, not only the moon will separate location system, but it will split its anomalies. Now, if it splits its anomalies, what happens in set location system interaction? If you don't think these things can happen, they can, because all calculated line position is inside of you. So anything that you say affects you and all set locations inside of you. Anything you say through motion affects you inside of you, because you are together. You are the co-creators of your set locations to your sun and to your moon through light. So it's not all about understanding when you have a positive and negative, what is it position of? Keep it on the light. Keep it on the light, right? You have light. What happens when you turn off the light? It's dark, right? But it's not, it's light. Now, what do you mean by that? Hold on a sec. So you're saying if I turn on the light, it's fine, I can see. But see, this is what you only focus on, which is also applications of confusion. You have to understand the adaptation in case of light and dark. So when you turn off the lights, it's light. But where's the light coming from? Your eyes. Your eyes are always open in all set location to your settings, okay? So in that position location, you don't need to close your eyes. You can flick it on line position, there's a light. Emits it with your eyes, receptors, your galaxies, your eyes, windows, soul, line connection system, your scanning line connections, and you look around in the hologram. But you should be able to see line communication with your eyes open. Your eyes are always open. Your mind is always open. All the time. Now, in that set location system, you're working with 24 signature stream location settings. Clocking lines of 12, clocking lines of 24, 48, 72, 144. But when you're in position at 12 line, only use it as a reference. Do not use it as a set location as a clock, because it doesn't exist in its time setting. And that's what you guys have to get out of. The physical adaptation line surface has to really understand how to coordinate high line rotation to a system and track communication line interference. How do you guys think you guys get force fields and energy fields around you? Until you understand the track communication, what the sun is and what the moon does for you in set location system. Put a positive negative wire in communication, you got a light. So the sun and the moon protects your setting through force field in and E fields out. Set position of track communication opens all levels of your division location of space and its anomaly. Okay? So don't put anything offline rotation interference, because you cause calculation of high interference of quantum entanglements, position of track lines, paradox high calculation, virus channel position location, Trojan line in rotations, correlation high center position of track lines in position location of separation. Okay? There's nothing in separation. Nothing. Nada. No. The only thing that separates is your mind of emotion. The balance of your line connection is how to use your higher self locations. Okay, welcome everyone to joining me on SPACETIMECREATOR line position locations. Get you guys in the higher line position of your fields. Tracking communications in position, taking you guys to 24 times lines of 10, x 2000 lines of 1, position of track lines. That's 2 over track communication at 36 fields. Okay, now in the center communication line settings, we have to understand how to use the correlation at set position locations. How we come into the why. What is the why? Let's get into a question. Why? Right? Let's get into the who. Okay. Let's get into the what. Let's get into the where. Okay. So we got why, who, what, where, when. Okay. In position. Okay. So why is it so important to understand what's going on? Who is this going to in position of? What is going on? Where is this happening? When is this going to happen? And who is it going to happen to? Well, it's all position, location, and track lines. Question, right? 3 signature line streams in high position of 2 track communications. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? All comes back to you. Right? Take that calculation set in high position location line centers. U equals line connections to flux capacitor. Okay? Pretty simple, right? Flux capacitor. Okay? All right. So now you understand the track communication unit settings. So everything comes back to you through acceleration, through deceleration, through Mach, through voice, through command, through energy, through protection, through provision, through calculation line set location, high setting, and directions. All right? The placebo. Now, once you understand position and track communications, the higher self sets position location to grounds. Okay, so you get 12 signature streamline conditions. There's the graph. Okay, set position locations, all set line conditions, high setting. Higher self, protect its earth. Okay, but it's only a 12 line ground line set, 12 sets. Okay, now in set locations, 12 signature lines comes into graph, which is your higher self, comes positional plateau, track communication. Now in that direct signal, you have to understand how it correlates to the level line string, directing line connections high system, megahertz, megawatts, gigawatts, all calculated in high positions. And then you get your zeros in the locations, all settings, 0, 0, 0, 0, line 1, decimal line positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all line conditions, high position location at 12. Okay? So it's understanding how to use your graph and set location in your system and track communication and monitoring to your earth perception. Okay? So what you're doing is you're monitoring your earth through your higher self. Okay? Now, getting to monitoring position, location, and line setting is the travel calculation to a system, right? Bring it in the sun, bring it in the moon, protecting positions to its location to its earth correlation. Okay? Very powerful. Everything that you do is being protected. So once you understand how to use the energy fields to your higher self and your force fields to your higher self, you understand the sun and the moon is coming back to you. So it's a signature light in 12 set location settings in all position discorrelation, directing line set locations, a friendship, relation, and partnership to its higher self because it knows what it's doing. Okay? So, and now we come into the calculations to its avatar and position. Now, the avatar is a center line calculation setting position location to its H, which is the heart convergence. Center line communication setting direct signals, all calculates line positions to its portals of communication setting and direct signal to modification. Now, center position location and line setting, what's above is what's below. What's above? Magnetic highway information line set location. Let's call that locations to your setting, location setting, position, track lines to your sim. Position locations, this is your earth. Okay? This is your earth that you're protecting. These are locations. So the track communication line setting is all about understanding how to use your earth to your avatar to your sim. Okay? So earth monitors set location, human residence and set location. Setting track lines, working with 13 graph lines and set position location of all lines. The avatar controls the travel settings and direct signals in all position. Okay? So it's very powerful with the avatar. It creates its own GOD and it creates line set locations. So you're working with you, me, myself, and I, and all set location to one cycle, one division, one location, one center, one operation, one yin and yang, one sun, one moon, all at once. Okay? So the earth is rotating all at once, all timelines all at once. That's how it becomes 1 + 1 = 3. Same with the avatar, 1 + 1 = 3. Same with sim, 1 + 1 = 3. So you're always in position of balance through the earth, through your avatar, and through your sim. So understanding the earth, your higher self, understand your avatar through design, and understanding your sim. So in that position locations, guys, is to understand the higher self to the avatar, to its sim. Okay? Now, like its interest location is setting. The avatar sets position location to its GOD. Okay? Higher self is position locations, equal lines its earth. And everything through its sim is its mind equals lines in navigation to its surroundings. Okay? Now you understand the three of balance, position, location, setting of its direction. All right. So I want you to understand that. Then you understand how 1 plus 1 equals 3. 3 equals, in position, locations, space, academy. Okay? Earth, the moon, and the sun. Okay? But that's how it works in track communications. Everything high set in high positions. So the Earth is masculine and femininity. In set locations, your moon is masculine and femininity. In set locations. But in track lines, this gets confusing now. Okay, set locations. Right line is female. Because it's masculine set, but it's female male. But the left side is male female. Okay, so don't get confused in the moon line. Okay? Moon is the female of its male, but it's got 2 track lines, split in position anomaly, space and time. All right, and position locations, sun is the male and the female, and the position locations in all set line conditionalized system is its female of its male set location. Okay, so the track communication line and position locations. Now, is your Earth male or female? Is your Earth male or female? Remember, there's track communication online settings. Know exactly how to use your position locations to your yin and yang, and yin and yang. Okay? All set position attraction. Okay? So your Earth is what? Female, male. Female, male, male, female. Okay? Complicated, right? But you have to understand how all this works in set location line setting, because Mother Earth is a female male, but it's in the process of a male of a female. Okay, so the track calculation is its space in time, has its space and has its time. So you have to understand how it works to the right, to the left. Yes, right is the Earth, but it's the female of the male of its Earth. Okay, and the male of its female of its space. You see how that works? Pay attention. Now you understand. Okay, all right. It's exciting, isn't it, what we're coming into? All right. Now, in that position of track communications, okay, you guys have your 24 line streams, direct and line position locations, all levels, equal line calculation, triangulation, position location of box, triangulation line position locations, female, male. Line conditions of box, male, female, position locations. You have male and female in your body, all set location, triangulation, and box, okay? Female, male, okay? So you have to understand the rouges and router locations, all line conditions when it comes in the stomach area of females in set positions, right? Intract communication. Setting direct signal to the male is a square line calculations, but they have flux capacitor, so does the female flux capacitor communication. Now, it's really understand how to understand the positions of all calculations with settings through 24 line rotations and calculations. So we take up the 24 line streams, add equation line interference into brain converter location setting and position location. Setting coordinate height interference, that's put position location height interference into 34. Add 2 line settings into 1 X line setting, XT1000 line position locations. That's puts in 36 fields of rotation. Done. All right. It's all set up. Now I'm doing it through different graph line stream locations, but I want you to understand the process, how this all works through the Earth, okay, to the power lines and to your space positions. How you correlate height interference and how you see Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a female male to male female. Okay, do you understand the process, how this all works? It gets confusing over time once you understand how to get into the line connections of your hemispheres, of your left and your right and your right and your left. So in position location, now I understand why I go right and left and right through my eyes. Crosses over. So when you cross communication setting and direct signal, set a position location operation line conditionalized system, crosses over, crosses over, crosses over, crosses over. Right? Crosses over, 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 crosses over. Okay? You're creating a design. Okay, so in that position locations, you have to truly understand how to use that line conditions of all aspects in position locations, right over left, left over right. Position locations, right over left, okay, right over left, okay, and left over right, left over right, set locations, okay. So now you understand position location of the Earth. Now you understand the position locations when it comes into location line settings and position locations to your avatar and locations to your sim and position of track line. Okay. So that's the position of track lines. So we really have to understand how this all works inside position of your system, how to use the Earth of its female, of its male, of its male, of its female. Because the thing is, guys, you have to understand there's two settings. If you split yourself in half, you have to understand the yin and yang of its process of 6 and 9. Okay, that's all it is. That's all you have to do is balance it out. If you look in the center, you can see the figure 8. Now, in that set line communication setting and directions, you're coming into infinity cycles and memory line correlation setting direct signal to all calculations to placebo, how to use the correlation setting directions in your track communications. How figure 8 comes into its formation of travel, travel, travel. Okay, figure 8's infinity. So in that line condition, congratulations, you can come out of your body and go into space, into the 5 atmosphere lines, right? So in track communications, 8 line set in high position location, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 4 line track lines. So in position location line interference, understand your 12 sets, okay, in set locations. Now it's really understand that position track lines, 24 line signals, clocking setting, in position locations. Now your track communications into all levels. The breaker hearts line rotation setting position with nanoline communication line position location narrow links is now in set location in nanoseconds. Position of track lines communication position of clockings. 1 position, 2 positions, and 3. Okay. Set position of track lines and 2 lines of high center interference and set position location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5 central lines, 5 stream locations, and 5 division. Okay, center position location, track communication line, direction, high setting. Okay, there's so many different ways to do platforms of communications through 12 line signature, 12 line graphs, or anything the 24 line position locations in its collaboration, in its communication to its computed system location settings. Okay, so in that line conditions, you have to bring in the sun, you have to bring in the moon, and line position location to protect the set location. Done. Okay. So that's what you're doing to understand how to use the light and how to use the dark, how to use the positive, how to use the negative. Okay? That turns on the light. Okay? So you're always working with setting location line settings in position, positive, negative. There's a reason why the battery is this way in position location to its setting. Okay? Why? Why can't the negative be here? Why? Because the coil line centers the combustion location setting direct signals here and position location of here. Now, in that line communication line interference, electrical settings, communication, right? Setting position of track lines, communication. Setting communication of ground lines, communication. Center operation line string, communication. Now, in set position location line setting, high position, communication, right? So in that position locations, you have to learn how to communicate with a positive and negative line condition to a battery, Duracell, or any of that position attractions. Comes to ground lines, comes into our calculation system, track communication, center operation line setting, and position location of infusion and position of operation. Okay. Now, understanding the mechanism to its metal, to its interface, is meta. Meta. Okay. Meta is very powerful. Meta universe. Okay, meta equals universe line setting. Now, the track communication lines is memory, energy lines, stream lines, interpretation stream locations, atom lines into equal line calculation setting, position location north, position location of south, and work about the location, tesseract location of settings, and triangulation high interference and position of traction. Okay. So we all have to understand how this works through a battery, because that's what you are. And this position track lines comes back location to its matrix. All right, so in that position of traction, we have to understand how this all works now. So you've got 36 lines of fields, equal-line calculation setting, memory lines and how to calculate high position collaboration, communications, operation, perception, setting locations, interior CPU line rotation settings, position of square lines, triangulation line set locations, into pi position attractions, pi directs locations, all levels, operations, surface, sits high position of center line and communication setting directions. Done by equation, right? So it's interesting how you get into all those, how to really change these things. Okay. So position track lines, correlation setting, direct signals. So it's like a road map. It's firing, wiring, position location, and track lines. But you have to understand the indication setting, how it opens all signals in position locations to your brain conversion location system, and how it comes in line condition over your throat, or anything through form line calculation, your time sequence, and position of track communications in a road graph turn location to its AI calculation setting in a high set position of traction. Okay. Now, getting in this position is understanding how to fire and wire and set position. So the first thing that opens line signal high position locations, the sun and the moon has to come in right away because you're talking about the brain. So the sun and the moon automatically protects the position location of track lines and all lines at the cerebral set location. Okay. Now in that position location, gets interior locations, right? We come into the wall connector streamlines. Now that's a rotation surface, center line direction setting and position of operation. Calculation line setting and position locations of operation. Setting track communication line interference to center line rotation surface and operation. Okay. Now in position locations, we set up the line center locations, 12 signature lines, 24 streamlines, in position of 36 fields in set position, right? Numbers in sequence. 2 panels of operation line positions to its calculation. Indirect signals. Flux capacitor, set position, and set location. All right. See the intelligence, see the eyes, see the nose, see the mouth. You're always in frame of everything that you do. Okay. See, the thing is, you are in everything through intelligence. Okay. Yes, exactly. Earth is integrated space. But that's in provision location to its top line, future adaptation, surface location of face recognition. You guys have to understand setting lines of your 36 fields, of your perception locations to your sim, understand location of your avatar, and calculations to its GOD, and understand your Earth in a higher line condition setting to its human resonance and location of performance. Okay? But it's very powerful how you come into your intelligence. All right, so systematic line position locations comes in this system, position of track communication, inline calculations to its atom of high rotation to its surface and center position of operation. Okay, done by equation. All right. So in that line condition setting, we come into all levels of diffusion. Fusion lines of vacuuming line condition lines of velocity line conditions, all levels of high calculation setting, nano lines, high calculation setting. Okay, so we come in a nanoline port and aniline rotation surface and triangulation high positions. The line connection on lines, we had a delta line position of wave lines and a mega line center line rotation surface and triangulation resets in high position of program setting position to its operation into its pyramid stream location and indirect signals film strips position of 12, 24 signature stream location dimensional cells and set position of travels and high calculation positions of operation. Okay. Now, it's really understand how this is all set up, okay, and how to use it through nanotechnology or anything through its atom line position of operation. But the vector cross lines, equal line calculation, the velocity is the volume through its vacuum. Position of track line is all modified in line rotation through settings. So you come into position locations, triangulation of 3 sets, high position location measure. See the intelligence? Everything's intelligence. Setting track communication line settings, all position location to its system. Track location setting, all levels of its cloud. Direction of timelines, high position location to its system, to its operation. See? Face, body. All right, so that's done. Okay. So everything I'm doing is already done, but the process of your calculation setting is understanding how the sun and the moon comes back to you in all line position of operation. Okay. So you work within the line cycles in high setting. Don't have anything out through provision. Don't have anything out through provision until you understand the center operation of you. Okay. So once you understand that, then you understand the pi. Once you understand that, then you understand the pi. Once you understand that, then you understand the pi. Once you understand that, then you understand the pi. Once you understand that, then you understand the pi. Okay? To its clocking system. Once you understand the clocking system, then you come into the yin and yang. Then you come into 6, and then you come into 9. 6, and then you come into 9. Okay? Multi, pass. You see the 6 and 9? Okay? So it's important you understand we stay within the waves. Don't go outline set education high system, but it's very powerful when you come into this position of traction. Okay? Okay, that's going to travel. Okay, so line signature graph lines, 1 position locations, 36 fields. Okay? You guys have to get out of the equations now, how to really understand the line connections of 3 lines of zeros and position of traction. See, 3 is 3 zeros, right? Modification, remember, 1 plus 1 equals 3. 1 plus 1 equals 3, right? Now you can add that to equation, but you got to cross stream at 3 set locations, okay? And then position locations, when you're finished, the sun and the moon comes in position location of protecting its line calculations of its formation. Okay, so now you protected 36 field line streams. Okay, so it's amazing what we're coming into set locations, right? So you're always working with the sun and the moon, always the sun and the moon, always the sun and the moon, right? So in that position location, it's always in position of the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon. The moon can come in, but the sun has to come in. But the sun and the moon come together. They're always in position locations. They're never, ever, ever, ever separated, because the sun and the moon is yin and yang in process communication. The form recognition lines at position location, which is calculated to your flywheel, goes in the same direction. Goes in the same direction. Okay, it has to. If it doesn't go into the opposite, if it goes in the opposite direct location, your 6 falls out, and your 9 platitudes is position off calculation. Okay, so that reverses position location, creates a high position locations into a black hole and line set location to a system. Okay, so you don't want to do that. Okay, because what you're doing is you're creating line position location of travel lines and back force line set locations back into the past as set location. Okay, very powerful set location. Oh, see that? Flash. Okay, is everybody having fun? All right. Travel sequence patterns, high calculation modification to your settings, bracket communication line settings, position locations. All right, so high position location working with 36 now, right? Position lines, equal line calculations, another 3 0 line position locations into 6. 36 equals lines of 6. So 6 lines that rotate surface location half pipe. Sun and the moon comes back and tracks communication setting and direct signal to all position location of its operation. Okay, now I know it's powerful stuff, isn't it? So when you get in that line rotation interference, the actual sun rotates the surface to its earth here, right? Anomaly switch line, gravity line rotation surface and track calculation. So in that line rotation interference, it sets position location to its setting and a line communication in a line rotation to its system. Okay. And that calculation sets a 24 ground line in position to a plateau in the calculation of 48 line stream, indirect signal location of 72 position program into 144 crystal grid locations of plateaus of set location. Okay. I know it's very powerful, isn't it? So we all have to understand how this all connects inside position location of your system. So understand your space command centers, calculations all levels, your position of the portals, communications, inline calculations, 10 high center interference, and position attraction of center. Okay. This is your Space Academy. You have to take care of it because it's connected high center line kineticized system to your Earth. Okay, the Earth is here rotating and is connected to the center position. Okay, you see how that works? So it's very powerful when you look at that set location line setting. So what we're doing is we're coming to out position, location, and structure, line conditions, outline setting, high center interference, and position to traction. Okay, so in that communication setting, we're coming to higher levels of magnetic highway information line calculation stream locations. Okay, we're coming into high levels of expansion of underwater cities, cities in communication, cities outline rotations, outer limits, outer space, space bodies, space camps, all set location line centers, outskirt and position location to its setting through Space Academy, which is the 7th division location settings of diverse location of alliance in its position location to its system through its holographic stream of sublocations. Okay? So we're going to leave that on the rotation surface, directing lines of calculation setting directions, putting new line position location, new graph line sets. So we really understand how this all works now, right? How to use the provisional location to your systems, how to use the Earth through its female, male, and female. Right? Female, male equals male, female. That's your Earth. Okay? Now, if you want to get technical, firmament and 2-track locations. Pluto and line setting and position. Okay? That's the firmament of its ether, of its umbrella. Okay? So in that calculation setting, high position and track lines, the Earth perception line calculation setting has 12 crevice line stream locations of protection. It has to in position of operation. So the umbrella line set location sets lines of 2-track locations to its Pluto. Position of coordinates, high position line calculation line settings, all position location of Jupiter. Okay, now in the system high set location line setting, the firmament and position location comes into its metric stream of 3 platforms, past, present, future. In line calculation, you have 12 graph line streams and 12 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Congratulations, there's the platform. All right, so that's what we're creating. We're creating bridges. Center position of track line is graph line set locations, right? The equal line calculation setting comes in all set line position to its operation surface, travel position location line setting, indirect signal location in its location setting in security position. Okay, very complicated stuff, set locations, right? So we all have to understand how to use the position locations of your higher self that protects its Earth, how the avatar gets in a correlation setting, how to get in calculation to its positions, how to create anomalies of its own GOD of its calculation system, and how to use your sim in your space academies of mind, of navigation of your surroundings. Okay? Crystalline, the positions of blocking negative line hits the heart, and yeah, exactly in line of position. So you're in the center position location operations, set location your city, and position location your space command set location system. Okay, so we're here now. We're in the center positions. So you're always working with the Earth. But see, the connections all lines of space line is changing direct signals into position location to its system. So the Earth is all tracking its line calculation setting into plasma line streams in sublocation high setting position, all levels. Okay, so we're here now. So in your position locations, this is position line conditions, all levels to the H, right? Coming in ground line streamlines, setting cross line stream locations. Now in that line position locations opens up higher levels of channel. Now that channel is position of 24 into 48 into 72 into 144, getting plateaus, communication setting, directing signal lines and all line rotations to its positions to its dimensional doors of set location, of center position to your cerebros of correlation. Okay, expanding out. Okay, so it's really interesting when you look at these, know exactly how this is all set up through your calculation of your systems, right? How to understand the Earth through schematics. Everything's schematics, grounds, powers, and atmospheres. So all connected in high center. Higher self has schematics over 13, right? Position of the avatar has 114 through schematics, through its GOD, right? And set location system, right? So don't get confused with that setting. Okay, the higher self only goes to the 13 graph. It only protects its earth, which is you. So you are the connections to its soul. So in that direct line center, that's the earth and protection. That is your set location system. Okay. The center position location is the heart, the product of the sun. Now, once you understand the convergence of the hearts in your space academies, then you understand this location to its avatar, through its own line position of its GOD, is creating higher levels of its mind lines of space. And once it gets in set location, it comes into its sim. The sim is the mind of navigation to its surroundings, in your facilities, seeing your room change in different line connection. Okay? Pay attention to that. All right? Rainbow spectrum connections to chakra panels and location at grounds of operation. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's good. But it's amazing what we're coming into. Okay? Travel signals and high position location line settings. One direct signal, one panel. One direct signal, one panel. One direct signal, one panel. Where's the other one? Center position. Okay, I don't need to show you because I know what it is. 2 panels operation, stream location, and 2 settings. Okay, fluctuation line set locations and position location of wings. 2 line jumps across the stream and 2 line division locations. Bracket 2, bracket 2, bracket 2. Protect location in your settings, right? Track line. Position locations of pi in center position to its operation line, set location to its diamond core, and split location of high interference and direct signal, and position location to its tesseract, in line communication setting, and direct signal through set location. Okay. So I'm just showing you so many different ways of where you guys have to come into expansion, how to get into exploration, how to use your set tools of your mind through your placebos and your cerebro. So you got 30 line calculation settings in 6 positions. You have 36 fields now through your cerebros and all set location. Okay. Building at the moment, yeah. You see it, right? And that's all it is. When you start to see, you're seeing, you're living, you're becoming. Okay? Seeing, living, you're becoming, right? You are in positions. Okay? Are. You are in positions to location, right? So once you understand that, understand the seeing is what you're believing. You take out the belief systems because the belief line setting is it's kind of like a belief is like a temporary situation because you come into your trust system and then you get into all calculations. Oh my gosh, I have to surrender to my setting now. I'm getting out of my belief system because I'm understanding more levels of me through value, through volume, through velocity, through acceleration, deceleration line system. I understand the truth. I understand the freedom. Freedom is all lines of mind of freedom. And that's what you're coming back to, is all set locations to its sovereignty, set location. Okay? So this is how you have to really change the way you do things inside locations. You change your thoughts. It changes everything outside. Everything that you say from inside reflects outside, and it creates the reality. If you want to low brown line settings and be in a beta tone line rotation interference and set location in your system, that's totally up to you. But you're in unconsciousness and set location below the grade setting. I don't want to be there. You want to be above into the conscious and position the higher lines to the subconscious. Whoa. And then you go into the super of his consciousness. Whoa. All right. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be below. Okay. You want to be above the conscious. Conscious equalizes the higher self. It stays there. It doesn't go any higher. The subconscious location is subtraining line set location, which is your avatar. And anything above the superabundance consciousness is your sim. Congratulations. Okay? Your connection is about understanding the balance of your birthing set locations of your 12 DNA. We already understand that set locations, but now you have to understand the 13 graphs into its higher self, the 114 graphs to its avatar, and its complete system to its sim of its mind of navigation to its surroundings to your connections of space academies of design. Okay? All set to its position location. All right? Okay, so getting a better understanding now why I have the earth, because it's the earth inside me, because I am the earth. Okay? But this is where it gets tricky. Am I standing on the earth? No. You're standing in your space academy. Oh my gosh, mind blown. So in that position locations, I'm standing right here, but I'm looking at the surroundings of my sim. Wow, look what I've just done, right? So you're reconstructing your design. And see, the thing is, you got to balance out your thoughts of perception. Because if you don't balance out your thoughts of perception, it's going to go dormant. And if it gets dormant, it's blocked. And if it blocks, it sets position locations. Congratulations. Your wall is now glitching in set location. Your wall is glitching in set location. Your wall is glitching in set location. Your wall is glitching in set location. Right? This is your wall. You don't want that. You understand? So we all have to get into that provision locations. Get into all calculations into surrender. Okay? You have to find a way not just to see these things, but understand that I'm actually living and becoming. You are in that set locations. Becoming of who you are is I am. 5 settings of your heart reactor, a set location. The convergent locations to its awakening is all unification. It's all unification. That's all it is. It's the awakening process of your heart back to the sun. Center operation of yin and yang. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay? Now, in that position location, things are going to get a lot more trickier now because you're reaching higher levels of the mind, of consciousness. Okay? The faculty, the high position location lines, and mortalities are now dealing with super of its consciousness, and they're trying to stay above the system. Super consciousness, unconscious. What do you think is going to happen to your earth in that position? Off calculation. You got to get back in grounds in position location. Okay? So it's important you understand that, how that works through your earth. If you go below the subconscious, anything above the waterline settings, interact communication, anything below the set location system, you're reaching line position locations into beta of communication. Okay? You don't want to be in a beta wave with your earth, especially even your superconscious. That doesn't make any sense. So the superconscious thoughts changes programs, changes direction, changes cycles, and changes traction. Okay? So you don't want to do that. You really want to get in the perceptions of your thoughts, because you have to understand your thought is understand the structure of its thought, of its schematics. So what you got to do is slow down your space. Slow down your space. And then you can see what you created in position of track line communication setting in direct system. You created that through your thought. Cube that comes out of your voice line, tracks locations. Cube. Okay, you created that. Travels right away. Sun comes in, protects the system location of what you created in position of your thought that connects your coordinate highest in line position of placebo into your cerebral line set location of storage. It's set location all through cube. So your sun and your moon is protecting your thoughts. See, the thing is, if you don't put your fields and position of track lines. If you don't put your force fields and energy fields, your thoughts are exposed. Oh my gosh. Bye-bye thoughts. So instead of going forward, you're going down in position. Unconsciousness, beta waves, combustion. So the thought has to be in panels of H setting. H, which is the heart. Thought comes up, back in traction. There it is. 12 DNA line rotations and setting position traction. Okay, there it is. Hoo-ah! Now you can walk the system. Dun, da, 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 da. Okay, you stay above the space anomaly. Never go down in position. Okay, you've got to be in here, the H line center, which is your heart convergence location of your thoughts. Okay, very, very powerful. Okay, how does everybody feel about that now? Right? Position location, Angela, please identify. Yep. What is your line position to your system? Yep. Angela, you're not activated. Okay, Angela, you got to have a line of center interference. I'm going to put you in a bubble. Same high position location traction. Please, everybody that comes in my lines, in my live line position, all of us in my school needs to be in position to a stream location of activation. Okay, it's extremely important. Okay, very, very high line position of track line communication in the faculty of the team and everybody else. Okay, thank you very much. So I put you in a bubble in line position locations. You're outside looking in. All right, so track communication line centers, the bracket communication line setting is one position location in one system. Okay, so track communication line setting is position location of 2 lines of zeros, 1 position locations, high position of 3 lines of zeros, and position location 1 line setting, and position of 4 line zeros, high position location track lines, and 1 line 0 to 5 position location system in track communication. And this is all through line conditions of zeros and ones. So what am I doing? Creating a road graph of a hologram. Okay? Faculty has to understand these things. So in that set locations, these are concentric locations. You're always working at a 45-degree angle line setting, okay? In track communications, 2 line set location. And let's say you want to go down cross line stream location, and you want to uplift line position of 1, 2, 3, and 4 set position, setting direct locations and high center interference in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position track communications. Okay, so it gets complicated. And then I want to change the 0 lines in 5 line position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how that works? So you have to understand how your calculations to your graph works in set position of operation. So inline rotations, you cross the stream. You cross the stream with the zeros, okay, which creates the graphs in position of box, in positions of box, in positions of box in set location. Okay, look how powerful that is. Okay, and then it becomes a walking system location of setting. Okay, then it becomes a walking system location of setting. Okay, so once you understand that, then you understand position locations, and it comes into the dimensional doors in set position to its operation. There's the doors. You go through, right? Okay, so that's what you're doing, is you're setting up energetic graph stream location systems all through holographic line conditions. Now you have to really understand how to use your mind through navigation to its surroundings. So if you're going down through a corridor and position of track lines, let's say you get into box line rotation to its systems, right? Box location, right? There's your Space Academy. All right, so in position, there's an open door, right? You're going through that line conditions. Okay, there's the door. You're going through the door, right? Set location, here's another door, here's another door, here's a locked door, here's a locked door, here's an open door. Here's a locked door, here's an open door. Okay? So each door has a mechanism line, set location of travel lines, and position location of 3 sets. So every time you're going through thought, you're going through seconds, minutes, and hours of clocking. And each position location is protecting the lines of the sun and its moon to its position location to its system through its activation. Okay? So it's important you understand how to use the sun and the moon through your dimensional doors when you go through these things, because you're protecting, you're putting an E field, you're putting a dome center in position, location, setting, because if you don't do that, sentience can go through the back door and set location. Okay? So these are the things that you have to be aware of, okay? Especially when you're recharging and sleeping. Okay? For all creation, alchemize, ionize, purification, color, coordination, 7 salts, 7 seas, winds, waters, fires, earth, atmosphere, hemisync, LR, cerebral. Yeah, it's all citation of track lines. But you guys have to understand more aligned position locations. Just try to understand the earth, your higher self. Try to understand the avatar to site location of its geometric operation, of its design. This is getting more detailed in how to use your sim through mind and navigation to its surrounding. Okay, because you have to focus on that now because you are in the interdimensional space. And you have to understand how to go through these corridors and how they can turn and position to its setting. So you go this way, and you go this way, and you go back this way. You set position this way, go that line connections. Now let's go down here in line rotations. Oh, let's change this position locations. Let's change that line interference. Oh, let's go back on this position location. Okay? So you're never going back, you're always going forward. The only time you go back is as soon as you set your location of your thoughts. Then it sets position locations. One thought changes every arrow. And all thoughts will go back in all position of track communication setting and direct signal to its operation. Okay? One thought. So that's how powerful we are. Now, getting into that position to its location setting, you have to really understand how to use it through your system. Okay? When you're creating thoughts, know exactly how fast they're going in that position because the mind is reaching higher levels of navigation to its surroundings. So it's like direction of time, sequence, time, position, location, operation, line, center, locations, confirm, proceed. It takes off. So you have to slow down your space to see your thoughts. Seeing your thoughts through projection, through light of the sun and the moon. You bring it in. You see the design. You see the schematics. You see the operation through its computer setting. Okay? Each thought is connected to positive and negative, male and female, odd and even, space and time, yin and yang. So in that position locations, you have a lot of yin, but not enough yang. Too much yang, not enough yin. All right? So this is what we all are coming into how in position of travel lines. How is the operation of the H-line centers of yin and yang? Position, location, center of all operation to your connection settings to all levels of your space academy of design. Okay? So you're always in the earth. The earth is always in tether, in direct signal to all position, location, to its setting, in all levels of operation to its surface, in its position, location, to its position line connections, to its sim, and its mind and navigation to its surrounding of a magnetic highway of its information cycle. Okay? Just off divided channel. Security lines in position. Yep. Well, that's the thing. You guys have to really understand how to use the sun now. What is the sun used for and what is the moon? The moon is the most powerful thing through motion, right? The whole idea here. Here's the moon. Okay, there's the moon, right? Now you want to get to the moon. All right, so let's get to the moon. Now, in that position locations, you're already there. I'm already there, but you're not there because you don't understand the process of emotion. So in my communications, all right, got to pick up the kids. What just happened? There's a graph line, offline position. You're back into the unconscious line stream. Okay, got to get back into the conscious. Okay, communication line, streamline, and position to the moon. There you go, to the moon. This is a motion that you can't add or you can't get to equal line conditions of pi indirect signal to your moon set location. Okay, don't add emotions to anything in position when you're traveling. It's very important. Don't think about the kids. Don't think about this. Don't think about that because it doesn't help you, Trinity. It offlines your position location, your settings, and you can see that through graph, right? All through coloration in your 12 DNA. Okay, so don't do that. And that goes for all calculations, settings, and faculty, and anything through team position locations. You can't add emotional to your system because it's affecting what? Your earth. You understand what the earth is because you are the earth. This is not the earth. I'm the earth. I'm the higher self. I'm the protection to the earth. I'm the earth. This stepping on, this is not the earth. This is your academy. All right, so in that position location of settings, once you get that straight, then you stand the position location as a monotone. Perfect. Perfect. Emotion. Oops. So 2 panels in direct signal. Heart generation stream. You got to stay within the 2 panels from above of what's below. You already know what's below is your earth. Okay? So look at the graph line. Look at position, location, the mapping sequence, how it goes up through motion. Emotional line interference. I forgot to pick up the kids. Just got in a fight with my husband. Oops. So back in setting, back in center. Travel, right? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is, how it connects to your system through Schumann resonance, anything through graph location of setting. How it's so important to balance these things out through your higher self, your avatar, and your sim. All through dimensional design. Dimensional, see the D? Now, once you get in that set location and you stay in the center and no emotional location, you can travel out of its equation to its setting, position location to its system through portal of communication to its system. Travel in set locations. It will travel set position to its operation. Okay? Do you understand the importance why you can't add emotional line to anything in position of travel? Because it changes everything in seconds, in minutes, and it's hours. Seconds on position location of clock lines and high center interference and all direct signal to its location. All right? So in that position location, you come into the box line rotation surface, you come into graph line string location setting and direct signal location of system. Okay? Comes out line signal. Yes, waves travel. Yes, waves travel. Yes, waves travel. Yes, waves travel. Look what I created through a wave. Connection high interference. Electrical line infusion. Electrical graph location of screens. Okay? All position locations. Position track lines and high set position location of travel. So we all have to understand is stay within the line. We already know that position locations, right? So you got point centers, indirect signal. Okay, position of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how do I communicate with 6 line center location of point systems? Even though it's separated. Is it separated? No. You see it separate because it's not together, but it's already together set location of travel and position. It's communicating to each other, right? So not in communication. If you want to take the line settings, you take them out of the equation. You take them out of the equation. Boom. Right? There's a hologram. Position locations, rainbows. It's a position. You're always working your 12 DNA. Okay? Always. See? See the hologram? All right. So in that position locations, you can bring the sun in northwest, south, and east. So it's north, east, west, south. Start with the location of its diamond core, line condition to all position location of circle and operation setting. Direct and line calculation setting. So you can bring in the sun in the southeast corner and in position of track line, protecting its system and its location of its design. Look at how powerful that is. Okay. It gets more complicated. It's more fun though. So everything that you create through design, the sun and the moon comes in and creates it through its rainbow. Rainbow. See, the thing is, you've got to balance out your emotional settings. All right, so set position locations, rainbow line setting, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? One track communication 2, 3 lines of setting, 4 lines of high center, equal line condition of solar stream and position location setting direct signal to a compute system. Okay, so okay, it's great to see that you guys are coming information. So this is all about understanding how to use your rainbows. Okay, now in that position location, so you have to learn how to use the sun and the moon. And if you want to bring in the sun and the moon early, that's totally fine. But you have to connect with all line connections of your numbers in set position that's in traction. Okay, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is fine, right? 5 is waiting on signal, 6 is offline calculation, and 7 is in position. Right? So you have the graph screen of 13 line settings. So you bring in 6. 6 is over here, 7 position plateaus, and 5 is in the center. Okay, so what happens in that set location to a system? What happens? It expands its horizons and set location to a system through its hologram and position of traction. Okay, now line positions, if I want to get an 8, that's 8 line centers. That's 8 signature streams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in set location. See how it becomes a hologram? See how I come in communication setting in order to line interference? How I have 5 or 6 or 7, 8 waiting on signal to come in position of formation. It's like get back in line. You're not ready yet. You're not ready to come in. I'm not ready for you. Okay? That's how it all works. You really have to get in position line settings, how to use the tool sets of your mind, navigation through your surroundings, through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols. You've got to get in relationship and partnerships with everything around you. You can't see it in any way, form, in any line rotation of what it is. This is not a 1. It's not a 1. Never was a 1, right? This is all digital layers. See, look at it. Look at all the digital layers. Look at it. Look at the design. Anything I do is creation of design. See, look at that. Look how it's all together, right? Schematics. What do you think clouds are? Schematics. All right, so in that position and track lines, you come in this locations, lacing line communications, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of design. Okay, you have to protect the system locations from the sun and the moon that opens all signal position to its operation. Okay, so it's important you understand why the sun and the moon comes in. So it's like, turn on the flashlight, I can't see. Flashlight, you got to see what you're doing. Right? That's the light. So the dome comes on and the light comes on. So you can see what you're doing through its schematics of its design. Right? Working at night, you have to have lights to work. Okay? That's how it works. And so, okay, look at that, it disappeared. It disappeared. It didn't want to be in the low division. It disappeared. Come on, guys, that's funny. It was there, it's gone. It's I don't want to be here. Line position location, low frequency line position location general. Out of equation. So I got to bring it back in position location to its setting, to its operation surface. Okay. Very powerful when you come into that position location of the system. You see how it disappeared on its own? Because it doesn't want to be there because it's a low vibration. I'm out of here. The vibrations are too low, General. Okay, so signature streamlines, the correlation setting, and this is where the moon comes in. You can bring in the moon and position of track lines and high center interference and all levels of operation. Okay, so you can bring that in before you get into structure of this design. So that means it's a good idea if you bring in the sun and the moon right away. Okay, see, the thing is, so you can see what you're seeing through schematics. If you wait until you're finished, it's like you're driving blind. Okay, there's no connection to setting. So get into the sun and the moon in position and then get inline connections to its operation surface and triangulation line calculation setting to its high center interference of its start location of its design. Okay, so the sun sets the rays in 3 set location, right? And then it brings it line calculation setting. in set position. Okay. And then it goes into its operation system location to the moon. It travels to the moon, right? You know why it travels to the moon? To store the archive communication of its high set location of schematics. Okay? Now this is way, way above your system. But you have to truly understand how this works at all set locations of the sun and the moon and how to use it through lights. Okay? So, and if you're not aware of these things, it disappears on your own and then you got to redo it again. Well, like I showed you, light signatures didn't want to be here because it was a low vibration. Okay? But I'm just showing you how powerful it is of what you guys are coming into now. Okay? Of structure, of design. Each line is a representation of you through your DNA of your 12 rainbow stream locations of sets. It's inside you. If I'm communicating in line interference in position location, is that black? No, it's green, but you see it as black. It's in the heart, but you see it as black. See? You're one-sided. You got to see the color of what it is in line. I see it as green. You see it as black because it's connected to 5, which is green, which is my heart. What color is this? What color is that? You see it as black. I see it as purple. What color is this? I see that it's the yellow. You see it as black. You see the situation that you guys are coming into? Right? You've got to go beyond. So everything I set up through travel communication has nothing in emotion. Because as soon as it adds the emotion, this is not yellow, it's black. This is not purple, it's black. Okay? So you can't see line connections of all side line position, optimal line position attractions, center and direct line signals, and position location modification, all levels of position line connection. Okay? Directing signals, communication, communicating, right? Setting position location, so the 1 is going to jump and communicate with all line setting. 1 communicates with this one, right? And these 2 travel out through frame, creating a line position location to its system. Hoo-ah! You see how 1 got in collaboration, started communicating, see what's going on? 1 was alone. 1 wanted to communicate with the other one. Turn line interference of 2 line position location of 1 line center location of 11 line signatures in position of 2 patterns, communication line in position of pi, and track communication line interference of pyramid act, line or high position location track line, and cluster line rotation surface, position of track communication of cloud. That's what this is. Okay? You see how important it is to get in your position location of letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols? How you have to get into its relationship and its partnership. Okay, so it's really interesting once you understand how to communicate. So it's like having a conference call. 1 position location of 2, 3 is offline setting, 4 is in position off calculation, 5 is in waiting signal, 6 is in line condition of modification, 7 is all calculation offsetting. Okay, so it's all about understanding communicate with them all at once is communicate to all at once line setting and interference and position attraction. Communicate with them first, right? And that position location high center interference, once you recognize position and track communication line setting, position, operation line, and positions, they communicate with each other. 1 communicates with 3. Okay, 7 wants to communicate with 5. 7 wants to communicate with 2, and 4 wants to communicate with 6. There it is. There's the face recognition location of setting. Multipass. Okay? That's all it is. That's all it is. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I know, Jips. See, that's what it is. It's all levels of volume of perception. And you guys have 36 fields now to a new cerebral location system in track communication your settings. But you have to understand that there's face recognition to everything, guys. Face recognition to everything. Look, face recognition to everything. There's the eyes. Face recognition to everything. Okay? You see it, right? But you're always in the frame. So who's in the frame? Me. Who's the foundation? Me. Who's the perception? Me. Me, 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 me. Me, myself, and I. Okay? So you see it, right? It's amazing when you understand that sublocations, right? Very powerful. You have 1 plus 1 equals 3, or 11 plus 11 equals 1 million. Now, how does 11 plus 11 equals 1 million? How do you get into that equation? How do you get into that equation? How do you get 11 plus 11, which is very high line conditions of setting, to all set location to a system? How does 11 plus 11 equal 1 million? Set position of track lines. All calculated modified high center interference and set position of track communication to a system, right? So remember how I was saying you got to take the 2 panels line position of high center position track lines? So that's 2 planets in set position of travel settings. Okay? Setting track communication high interference, that's 11 plus lines of 1 and 11 plus lines of 1. That's position location, high center interference, and travel calculation high position location nodes operation line interference, and 12 signature line calculation setting, which is 1 light year away in set location. So 1 line set locations and set locations. Set location line settings and set location high center in 12 months. 1 million in position of 1 line center in position of traction. Okay? So it's very powerful when you understand more lines of communications. Okay? Everything equalizes everything, but you have to find the balance first. And the only way to find the balance is you do it without emotion of travel. There's no emotional contact when you're trying to understand your system to its locations. Okay? You can reach anything in individual locations. If you get into a 2-track location setting, the operation, service, location, measure, that's just the 2. Where's the measure? Box location lines, 2 comes out line rotations, 2 box line center interference, 2 comes out equation lines of 3 box locations, and translation to 3 set position of operation. Okay? So we all have to understand we're all levels of different face recognition, of mind, of travel, through navigation, of surroundings. We have to understand the most important is to get into the collaboration to your letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols, guys. Once we get into the inventory, and once you go to higher levels of the mind, we can come into a matrix graph screen and line position locations of zeros and ones, question marks, weather patterns, pyramid line rotations, spherical spheres lines, Fibonacci line squirrels, height calculations, percentage over pi, direct line signals, high calculation position of measures, computer lines of calculation setting, atmosphere lines, change position of track lines, neutral light correlating high interference, balance correlation high directions, flash drive high interference, metric string location system, all numbers, sequence, position of patterns, and high position location operators location algorithm. Okay. So starting off in all set locations, in all track communications. So this becomes this through a graph screen. Okay. In that position, 2 panels, 3 panels, 4 and 5 panel position of the graph, right? That's the graph, right? So in that track communication settings, this travels, this travels, this travels, and this travels. See what I'm coming into? So in that position locations, in all line conditionized system, you create another box in the center because it's going faster through acceleration, right? Position locations on line setting. So we can down track locations in 2 line sets, 3 lines, and 4 line position of track communication, right? Now in that direct line center, we take the 2 lines and signature position locations 1, 2, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, and 6 position to its operation. Now in signal line communication setting, we center position to operation center location system and track calculations. Bring in the circular line communication setting that programs inner line rotation of space recognition of the setting. There's the tesseract of design. Okay. You have to understand how all this works. Okay. Because that's what you're working with. You're creating anomalies of all set location in your system in position. Okay. Through a matrix graph screen. which is very, very, very high rise. So I wanted to show you how this all works inside line position to a settings. Okay, coming in this line connection system. How this creates your lines of your space academies and set position to its operation, how it comes into levels of expansion and expansion. See? Expanding out. Okay. And position location city here. Oh, we got another city over here. Hey, there's another city over here. Hey, there's another city over here. Okay, that's where we're coming into. So it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? How we're coming into all levels of Space Academy and expansion. Now we're in 5 lines. Tomorrow we'll be in 6. Okay, once we get into 7, we go to another level. The plateau communication lines, electrical line communication, high setting, the ground lines, the earth line perception, high position location is coming up its consciousness. It's coming into the subterranean level. Okay. Now understand how powerful that's going to be when you get in that line position to a setting location of your body, reaction location system. Okay. But that's what it is, the equation. Look at that. Look at it. Look how powerful it is. Look what we're coming into. Look what we're coming into. Okay? Wow. Hooah! Isn't it amazing how you see these things, the equation? Well, center position locations, I keep that in mind. Okay. So we're going to higher levels of space now. So we're going above the subterranean line stream. 2 panels, calculation setting, and high positions were coming out of the H line center. We are no longer here. We're now coming into here, higher level. The magnetic high wave formation line of the on-universe line connectionized system is putting everybody into the ethers of its planes. This is the ethereal. That's what I'm telling you, location, setting, directions. We all have to understand how to recognize calculations, how you see above and how you see below. You're always in your earth and you're always in your center operation line set locations, but we have to come into all calculations of expansion and set location. Okay? And this process, all lines of yin and yang. Okay? So now you know and what that means and what you have to do, right? To center yourself all the time. Never have anything through emotion. Back and try communication line position. It's fine, right? But as soon as you add emotion, what happens? It drops. It automatically drops. Okay, so you're monitoring yourself. What happens when we get stressed? Right? Your heartbeats are going 1 million miles per second, per frame, per calculus, per pi in line set location. That's very fast in set locations through your clocking of design. 1 million. Isn't that amazing? Palpitation. You should know these things, right? All through the heart. Okay. That's going to help you. And that's just one level. One level of one design through heart, convergent location of system, location of setting. Okay. So anything you set position, it operates the line position location to a system location of the center. Right? It drops really fast. It goes up, it's doing well, emotional system. What do you think your heart's going to do? It's going to slow down. The rhythm pattern of the heart has to be in a certain line of vibration and frequency, position, location to its flux capacitor, and set position to all calculation. Okay? It has to be in its setting of balance. Okay? Now you understand the important location of your system, high center location attraction. When you want to know why your heart beats, when you want to know how to converge location setting when you're in position location of sleeping through all calculation of line system, when you want to know these things, when you want to know how to control your earth position location of human resonance, when you want to understand how to understand more levels of your space academy, of its design and how to use it in all plateau communication to and what you see through its location, of its navigation, of its surroundings. That's what we're coming into. And you have to be aware of these things. And all set locations. Everything that you see is its own geometric of its operation of design. See? Operation of its design. Operation of its design. What's in the center line? Light. So I need the light to construct the design. Mega, mega, mega pass. Okay? Your lights are never out. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. They're always, always on. Eyes open, eyes closed. It doesn't matter. There's light all around. Okay? So the actual space is just you through schematics of design. So what does that mean? Space is not black. Oh, whoa, whoa, where did that come from? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, so now you understand exactly, Captain, it's the space inside. That's all you're creating is the expansion of the mind. Sorry, people, space is not black. So when you live in the Space Academy, it's light. It's not black, it's light. Hello. Woo! But you have a blue plasma shield. You have to have a blue plasma because it protects the oxygen line set location in your system. It's oxygen traction. Okay? So now you understand. Extremely important to get into that position locations. Once you understand your space academies and you come outside, you see the space in set locations of light. Of set location. And that's why the sky is blue. All right. That's just the blue plasma shield, right? But when you go into space, it's not black. You got to get that out of the equation. Space is not black. Space in between is in position in your system. So in that location, you're just expanding the mind of memory. And once you start understanding the Space Academy, you see nothing but light around you. Everything is light. There's no dark. Okay? Major, major, major mega pass. Okay? All right. See you in 5.